Hello, everyone, and welcome to Live Reality Games. Here at Live Reality Games, we cover everything from Big Brother, Sequester, and everything just like we heard today covering the Greenhouse. Now, the Greenhouse is a newer live reality game. It kind of blends Big Brother with gardening at the same time. And if you can believe it, yes, it is possible. We are joined here with a special guest tonight. The Auctioneer, I guess, is her official title. But welcome, Hollie. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Glad to be here.
I'm super excited to do yet another podcast about this. I did a little intro with Taylor, kind of like the designer, creator, and producer of the show. And we kind of went over like the game mechanics and how it develops from that. And I want to talk a little bit about that, but really I want to say this show is really good. In live reality games right now, I know Victory House just finished up, Survivor New York just finished up, and we're kind of talking about reality TV a little bit too much. But these live reality games are here for those people that want to see something different. And this game is something different. And if you like any of those games mentioned above, you'll definitely like the Greenhouse. Hollie, for the people that's not too familiar with the Greenhouse in general, since this is a new live reality game, can you tell people kind of what the Greenhouse is about?
Okay, so we always like to say it's Big Brother, but with an economics degree. So basically, every week there is a competition. The top 3 finishers enter the Greenhouse, where they can choose Dirty Santa style for between 3 different powers. And those powers kind of are the same every week, but it changes and adds a new dynamic depending on which one you get. So we have the sunflower, which allows you to nominate 2 people. The rose allows you to nominate 1 person. And then the tulip allows you to block 2 people from voting, but the 2 people who get blocked receive banked votes that they can use to double up their votes later.
See, now when I first heard about the concept and the different powers, I really thought putting 2 people on the block per se was going to be something not chosen. But we have seen that being picked this season with someone that was on the bottom the last vote who won the power. So it's really interesting to see the power struggle on how these powers can actually really affect the game. You were telling me earlier, this isn't version 1 per se. You and Taylor have tried this game previously?
Yes. So we initially were trying it on Discord, and we did initially have a 4th flower. I think it was the daisy, which allowed you to prevent 2 people from playing in the seed veto and seed immunity challenge. But we were like, okay, this is too much, because we do know there are several rules, and just with all the powers, we were like, okay, for a first time player, this is getting a little too complicated. So to simplify it, we stuck to the 3. And we feel like that's really what works best. But yeah, we do see some people, if they're in a good position, they want to take the tulip, which allows you to give out to block people. But really, a lot of people want to be blocked early on if you feel secure in your spot, because it allows you to save those votes for when you may actually really need them. But some people, if you feel like you're on the bottom, it's time to take the sunflower and really try and get somebody big out.
Yeah, with the currency aspect of this, players gather seeds and they can purchase things at the auction, which is kind of your specialty. Hollie, what do you do specifically in this game?
Sorry, what was that?
What do you specifically do in this game? What is your role?
Okay, so I did do a lot behind the scenes, but on camera, my main role was just keeping track of all the seeds and running the auctions. So mid-round, we have an auction where you can buy different powers, and one works very much like a veto. And I would just keep track of who was bidding, who had how many seeds. And so at the end of the auction round, everybody would come bring me their little flower pots back, and I would have to update the seed count, because people were secretly switching and trading seeds and not necessarily all on camera. So every round I had to make sure that I had a document, an Excel sheet that had everybody's updated seed count and baked votes I had to keep track of. So I kept pretty busy all day with just monitoring where all the seeds were going.
And we get to see you a little bit in the show to express a little bit of your personality as well, which is fun to see. You make some comments to the players too, which is super fun. I know Taylor kind of has the hosting thing down packed, but we also get to see you. You're pretty much kind of like the secondary host, I would like to say, because you're there. And then you two actually have an exit interviewer. What's her name?
Her name is Anna.
And it's fantastic. You folks have like the whole CBS thing going. You have the episode, you have the recap show, and then you have like the exit interviews, which is typically what we do for these live reality games, but you already have those down packed. So that's super exciting to see. Was that always your initial thought to try to encompass everything that CBS does?
Well, we've been doing these for about 10 years now. We started with just Survivors and Big Brothers, and with those, we always have an exit interview. But because this is something that is completely our own, we've really wanted it to be as professional as possible, especially because this was kind of like our quarantine project. So we had a lot of time to think and develop. And so we wanted it to be as big as possible. So our exit interview host, Anna, she's done some of our exit interviews for us before. But we really know she's perfect. We need that. And we had to have like the people you don't see behind the scene, but we had like 10 to 15 people there filming. So we had somebody that just stuck with Anna all day. There was somebody that was with me all day. There was people that were following certain groups, somebody on Taylor. So yes, we knew what we wanted, but it was just like, as we went along, we were like, okay, we have to have this certain person here all day long.
And that just comes with the experience that you've had from all these different game variations that you've played. Because this is really, for the people watching these live games, sometimes you watch the live feed, sometimes you watch the episodes, but this has so much content. It really feels like you're in the middle of it, like this is all happening live. You focus on every single conversation that we can see. Taylor does some great recaps too. Just, hey, what's going on with this situation? Maybe you missed a minute or something, and it just really gets you involved and hooked into what's going on. Just to show the folks at home, all the episodes that are out right now. So we're only like halfway through, but as you see, this is their YouTube channel. They have earlier stuff here from Big Brother to Survivor, and then all the way up on top is all their greenhouse stuff. Like I said, this encompasses the episodes that are released twice a week, a recap show, and then honestly, like the exit interviews, which are really fun to get Anna's perspective and see the tea that everyone's dishing out. So that's super enjoyable.
My favorite part of the exit interviews personally, and kind of the whole experience, because I had this idea, was that so everybody, when you go to vote, you put the seeds in the pot of the person you're eliminating, and then once you get eliminated, we let you creatively figure out a way to smash your pot, which you only get to see in the exit interviews. So that is a lot of fun. I came up with that idea, and I was really proud of it.
It's super exciting too. Everyone likes the early Survivor trailers when you see all the whole cast, and some people, especially in the Big Brother ones, they're all grayed out. So we see on the recaps in the start of the game, like the little intros, everyone eliminating their pot, and you're like, what happened there? So you have to check out the exit interviews as well to see the fun that goes on with that. So how did you kind of get started? How do you know Taylor?
Taylor and I met when we were 14, 15, doing musical theater, actually.
That's exciting. So definitely your stage improv probably comes in handy on these shows.
Yes, it helps. But yeah, we met doing community theater, and we realized Taylor was super, super into Survivor. I was super, super into Big Brother, and it was kind of like we merged into the best of both worlds. So,
and we got the greenhouse.
Yes, and thus the greenhouse was born many years later.
Hollie, where do people find out about this greenhouse show?
So we are on YouTube. If you just look up Taylor Luke, his channel pops right up, and he has a rule instruction video if you want to watch beforehand before diving in. But yeah, it's on YouTube.
Absolutely. And he mentioned earlier you can search Survivor GOAT, like the animal, GOAT, Island, and it will pop up as well for Taylor's channel. Like I said, he has tons of great stuff from early Survivor shows that you did, Big Brother things that you've done before as well. Just a whole collection. Tons of time. If you're stuck at home, can't do anything, might as well watch this stuff. So
yes, he does have videos that explains like, okay, these are probably the seasons you should start with. These are the order. This is the order I would watch them in. He even has them like a ranking of our seasons. So that's kind of, I would go to those videos and see where to start. I personally would recommend with Big Brother, starting on Big Brother 13, and Survivor. I would personally start on Survivor Isle of Deceit, maybe because that one, but
a shout out for that for sure. There's so much good stuff on this, and it's really well put together. Do you and Taylor work on the editing, or do you have somebody else that takes care of that?
Taylor does it pretty much completely. What usually happens is I sit and watch while Taylor edits, and so we get to see all the footage because during the day we're usually super busy hosting, setting up challenges, so we actually miss a lot of the gameplay that goes on. So when we sit down, Taylor sits down to edit, and we're seeing it all for the first time a lot of times, and a lot of times we get some really good bloopers or things that we did not know was happening, and we just have to take a moment and laugh and like recompose ourselves before we can continue.
Now we are halfway through the season, so I want to say we've been pretty good with spoilers right now. So from here on out, let's talk about what has happened so far. Just kind of briefly, there's so much stuff that happens, and there's so many episodes. I don't think we can cover everything in the time frame today, Holly, but let's talk about some enjoyable aspects. So, spoiler alert, one of my favorite guests was the first eliminated person. Jan was amazing. Like, where did you find this woman? Like, she is spunky, she's strategic, she's friendly. Like, that start, we just fell in love with her.
Actually, I believe a friend of Taylor's mom, and she heard about it, and she sent in an audition video, actually, in the hair salon with the foil in her hair. So we were like, we have to have her. And yes, she was fantastic. And we walked in. She walked in day of, and we were like, oh, we have a star. So
absolutely, I think she was just so stardom. I guess like everyone got frightened. They were like, oh, she's a really good game player. Like she's super social, but still, she was playing the game great, and unfortunately it just didn't work out in her favor.
My favorite Jan moment is when she says, I'm very disappointed in at least one of you, and then you just see the look of everybody feeling bad. It's the way she phrased it. She said, in at least one of you, and then the camera pans and you see everyone's face of like, oh no, she's talking about me.
And that's exactly what it is. Like everybody was so well connected with her, everybody liked her so much that everyone felt like they were the one who betrayed her. And yes, you betrayed me, people too. Like, how did you vote her out so soon?
I know. I really think had to do, sad to say, but the age gap between her and the rest of the players. We are looking to, and we did try to find more age diverse people, but it just didn't work out for this season. And I just think her being older than the rest of the cast really was detrimental, even though that's not really, they don't say that's why they voted her out. It's just harder to form connections when you have less in common.
Absolutely. Well, Jan, I hope to see you again, and I hope maybe like I will connect with you. No worries. So
it will be return one way or the other.
Ooh, I like that. So what do you have like in store for like season 2 or maybe 3? Have you started doing anything greenhouse related? I know you have side projects on top of side projects, but greenhouse coming back?
We actually, Taylor and I last night were talking about potential season 2 castmates. So we have it in the works. Just with the way the world is right now, though, we don't have a definite date or anything because, you know, everything's so unsure, especially in Louisiana. Oof. But
which is where you two are located, correct?
That's where we're from. Yes. Taylor is currently in Austin for law school, but yes, this is where we're from.
Oh, very cool. Who else on this cast really stuck out to you, like when you were doing the early casting stuff?
Okay, so Christian, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
We were very hesitant to cast Christian because we know what he's capable of, and we were scared that it would be just too much of a steamroll. But then when we got some really other big heavy hitters, we were like, oh no, we're throwing him in because we know he brings the drama every time. He
Mm-hmm.
is going to be entertaining. He's a guaranteed messy player. No matter how many times he gives us his reassuring hand gestures that he's playing differently this time, it's never true. It's always a lie. And so no, we knew once we had Christian, we had gold.
Now, even who's more steamrolling, in my opinion, I think Claire is just running away with this game. Claire is so
Yeah.
well set up. She is making so many alliances and being very particular who to tell what to just in this last episode. So I am personally, I think I am on episode 11. So I'm not even caught up with the whole thing. You have episode 12 released already, and that was just dropped yesterday. But
Yes.
so far, it's been amazing. And Claire is just, I don't know, running with it.
Yes. Claire's the person, once we had Claire, we were like, okay, no, we can throw in Christian. So Claire, yes, we knew that she was going to be iconic. Claire is actually one of the people that films a lot. And so she has a background on a lot of these people, and she's kind of developed her skills from watching everybody else. So we knew Claire was going to be a hit. And yeah, she proved us correct.
Are all these people like from the area of Louisiana, or did some people come far away?
Most of them are from Louisiana, but we do have like people we met from college that are from out of state that ended up here. So like we have friends from like Boston that are moved here for college and have stuck around. We have people from Florida. So it just, everybody has been in Louisiana at some point, like, but we do have people that are originally from all over the country.
That's great. What's kind of like your favorite take on the greenhouse? What's your favorite part about it? I know you mentioned people getting eliminated, they get to smash their thing or whatever, but what do you get from this show?
My personal favorite thing, and I think the thing that makes it so different, is you have to rely solely on your social relationships. There is no comping out in this game. You cannot just win competitions and make it to the end because of how the Final Four is set up. So a lot of it is, and our currency is very important because you can spend your seeds to save yourself, but you cannot get to the end without having your seeds. Because the way the Final Four works is that whatever seed you have left, you use to vote for one person to get immunity, and that one person eliminates somebody, and that's your final three. So if you don't have seeds, you don't get to vote as to who you want to be immune. So you can't vote for your closest ally. And you can also not use your seeds to vote for yourself. So you can say, hey, I want to be the person immune. Let me give all of my seeds over here and let them vote for me. Or you can completely put your trust into somebody else and say, okay, I'm voting with you. Please don't eliminate me. But either way, it comes down to you have to put your trust into somebody at the Final Four, either giving them their seeds and hoping they vote for you like they say they will, or vote for them and hoping they don't eliminate you. So there's no way to comp out. You have to completely put your trust in somebody at the Final Four.
Now, speaking of comping out, we definitely have a huge physical game player, I guess we can say. Meredith is just winning back-to-back challenges. Like, even though she says that she doesn't really mean to, she is going to each of these individual immunities and winning them. I'm surprised to see her win some.
She has, but she does have a point because her first immunity win was complete happenstance. The other two people in her category just got eliminated, and so she won without even having to finish the challenge. The second one was kind of similar. The other people, it was if you get the answer wrong, you're eliminated. And she was the only one that got an answer correct. So she did win a lot, but she is kind of lucking into this, which was very funny day of, because she was like, I'm not trying super hard to win these, but she kept winning them, which was actually, honestly, I think she kind of needed to in the beginning to win those, because I think she could have been an early target. So I'm super glad she did win them and stayed around because she is such a fun character.
Yeah, she was. Based on what Christian said, Christian had his gun sent towards Meredith, just maybe because of past relationships or something like that. But she saved herself, and now she's still keeping on saving herself. Another person that's saving themselves a lot is Lainey. I think Lainey's in a really good spot as well, especially because she just got picked to do the start of the daisy chain, which is a really great twist in this season. Can you explain how the daisy chain works for people?
So the way daisy chain works is that the top 10 is always a daisy chain round. So whoever gets eliminated in 11th place grants immunity to one player, and that player starts the daisy chain. And then they pick somebody to be safe, and then that person picks, and it continues until only one person is left remaining unsafe, and that person becomes our first nominee. And then they can choose between anybody except for the original immune player to face up against on the block. So it's just that it kind of really shows you the social standings of everybody, because you are going to be picked up in the lineup somewhere. So you're kind of like, okay, if you get saved, I'll save you. But, somebody ends up unsaved. And so that really shows them, oh, okay, I see where I'm at. Or if you're one of those last few people picked, it's kind of a wake-up call.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this whole show reminds me of so many different games out there. Like, I can see the Big Brother getting put on the block. Even like Big Brother Columbus. Season 7, they had a casino theme. You earned points and can cash those in for rewards. Very similar to your seeds. You couldn't share points, I don't think, in Columbus, but the seeds are so effective too in how they're used. You can give people a seed, and one of my favorite parts, speaking of Lainey, was when she gave away her seed, but she pretended like she had a seed with a little rock in her thing, which was amazing.
Yes, she put a rock in her cup, and she kept that rock in her cup for the whole day. Like, even once she obtained more seeds, she kept the rock. She was so excited that she thought of that. I actually just saw her right before this, and she was talking about the rock in the cup. So, yes.
Mad props, Lady, on that.
Yes, Lainey is super fun. And Lainey was the person, it's mentioned a few times on the show. She played pretty much every season of our online testing beta versions of this. So Lainey was the person most familiar with the game going into this.
Now, it's interesting that you have such a wide variety of people playing this game online. Do you typically just operate through Discord on your games?
Actually, no. This Discord games is something that we started doing because of quarantine. So we normally every few months would have a game live, but we kind of got shut down, obviously, as the rest of the world did. And so we started doing games on Discord just to kind of stay in it, because we were feeling the withdrawal, so to say.
As I think we all were, for sure. This is kind of how like our little podcasting thing started. We were like, oh, we can't put on events. We might as well just talk to people about their events. So
yeah. So that's kind of how the whole Discord, our Discord channel started.
How do you typically recruit people? Like, even at your live settings when things are more open up per se, or how did you used to do it? Word of mouth, or did you have a website, advertising? What's going on?
So when we were young, we were kind of just using the same people over and over again. But as we all started going off to college and meeting more people, it kind of, just a word of mouth. But then as those people were playing, they were like, oh, I know somebody who would be great for this. So people contact us and say, hey, I want to play. And so we do have a form now, like if you're interested, fill out this form that people can apply, because there's some people that apply and we're like, we have no idea who this is. So there are some people that show up day of to play and we have never met them. We have no idea who they are, and we just hope for the best.
Well, it's fantastic. It's always nice to meet like brand new people that are into like the same types of hobbies, gameplay, and strategic happenings like this game.
Yes, and some people, like similar to John on this season, he is a med student from LSU that Taylor's twin Thomas knows, and he really had no idea what he's getting into. But I think he ended up having a lot of fun, and he was a lot of fun to have day of. So it's fun also because we kind of have some recruit style people that are figuring it out as they go along.
I have a good dear friend who reminded me so much of Mitch, so I was a little sad to see Mitch go. I really liked his aspect of keeping the point tally on his little journal that he got and kind of using that as like, hey, let me show you what I have information wise. I think he may have used it too much as a crutch per se and didn't expand from that in his alliances, but I really thought that was clever.
Yes, and I don't know what it is about Mitch, but every time we have Mitch play, he just gives off the vibe of I am coming after you. I am sketchy. I don't know what it is about him, but everybody, no matter what group of people we put him in, goes, ooh, Mitch is kind of sketching me out. And I just think it's so funny that he does the same thing and he's really is very loyal to the people he's with, but for some reason people do not perceive him that way.
Two people that I don't perceive as too alliance driven. I think Drake is really like the villain of the season, and I don't think he's had his time to shine as the villain. I know he mentioned kind of before he was auditioning for Survivor and was going to be cast as the likable villain, and I think that's what like he comes off as.
Really? That's so funny because we don't see him that way at all. Like when he said that, we all were like, huh? I'm laughing because he is like just so genuinely nice. So we're like, what? The villain? And I guess you can kind of see him that way. But Drake's main thing is a lot of times, and especially in this season, I feel like he talks to a lot of people, but he doesn't have the right conversations with those people. He's not as having as game heavy discussions with everyone as someone like Christian and Claire and Brandon. Bryce, those people, every time they're having conversations, they're very game driven. And Drake is having a lot of conversations with a lot of different people, but they're not going as deep as they necessarily are with others.
This last episode, I want to say Drake kind of got the wool pull over his eyes. I don't think he's going in the right direction, so I'm scared for him. I'm also scared for Brandon, the Britney Spears T-shirt. Like, one of my favorite personalities, and the fact that he wore that to like meet these new people and whatnot was just amazing. But I think he's going like middle ground right now. I don't see him making it to the end. I'm a little nervous for him.
Brandon's a fun one and definitely somebody to keep your eye on. This was his first time playing anything, and he had he did his research. He definitely did his research, but he was brand new to our games. So he is kind of like getting his feet wet, trying to feel it out. But I think he has a pretty good head on his shoulders. And I think the newest episode we just released is our Dance Mom Pyramids episode, where we have all the players rank each other. And then based off the rankings, we built a pyramid, a Dance Mom's pyramid. And that, Brandon's towards the top. Mm-hmm. And just a light spoiler, he is towards the top of the pyramid. So I don't know if he's in as bad of a position as it may come across.
Oh, and I really like all the twists that you all put in there. Like the daisy chain, this pyramid challenge thing, like the challenges that you have. Taylor said it before, they're less physically driven. You're not like moving this 60-pound like bag of sand across the ocean or whatever, but they're a lot more strategic. They're a lot more socially driven. And I really like to see that aspect because it's like, yes, you can be strong in challenges, but for the people that aren't strong in challenges, everyone can have the same social dynamic and just go from there.
Yeah, that we like having it that way because it really all comes down to you as a person and your personality and your social skills. And it has nothing to do with how athletic you are. So it really opens it up for a wider variety of people to succeed is how we kind of see it, because you don't have to have be super athletic or anything in order to do well, because we have the challenges do determine a lot. Initially the first 3 people, you're immune every week, so you want to be able to give a variety of people that chance to be immune and to have that say, and not for it to be the same people over and over again.
Mm-hmm. And I really like to see the different dynamics you have with your seed hunts, trying to get the seeds, and then just little ways that you can either vote somebody to not get a seed. I really think it's really well balanced. And we see a lot of games that are really not balanced. And I think it's really, really well put together, like you said.
Well, and a lot of the seed hunts, everybody, it's all in one day. We're doing this all in one day. And a lot of these people do not know who each other are. And so a lot of those early seed hunts and competitions, we strategically put there to kind of have like bonding opportunities and moments for these people to kind of get to know each other and have natural ways to kind of speak to each other without having to just start off the day like, okay, who are you? What are we going to do? It's kind of, we've put them there and we put the challenges where you really have to speak and form connections with people early, just so that those connections are built early on. So that you have those lasting connections throughout the day, because not everybody is going to open up immediately, but it kind of forces you to with the challenges and the hunts and everything that we have.
Yeah, and it's really great to see how something that happened per se week 1, of course, it was early in the morning, but just come back because they're trading seeds of like, remember this seed? We got this working together. I'm going to give it to you now because I trust you on that. So it was really great to see that come like full circle on that. Hollie, what do we have coming up in the series?
So actually, I think some of our more dramatic moments are still yet to come. Some more backstabby moments, some big arguments between people. So maybe the chance of a Venus flytrap coming up.
Oh,
so
dear.
The best parts of the season are still yet to come.
Well, that's super exciting. When do the episodes come out?
They come out every Thursday and Sunday.
And we can check those out on the Taylor Luke channel on YouTube that you can search for. Or you can also search for Survivor Goat, as in the animal, like the sheep, little Baba, Island as well. Hollie, thank you so much for being here and kind of doing a quick little recap on the show. There's so much to talk about, so much to watch, and anybody that needs some fill of reality TV, go to the Greenhouse and check it out. Either you can catch up by the little weekly recaps that are shorter, or you can just watch the episodes. I prefer the whole episode so you're not missing anything. There's a lot of great stuff in this. So Hollie, thank you again. Thank you people for watching. If you have any questions or anything, just leave a comment below. And thanks for checking out Live Reality Games here. Don't forget to subscribe and like us on YouTube and Facebook. Till next time, Hollie, thank you again.
Thanks for having me.